What's good, YouTube? Steel here. And a quick note before we begin: if you are a fan of these meta relevant decks as well as gameplay, make sure to not only subscribe to the channel but also follow me on Twitch, which I will link down below, as I will be streaming the majority of my ranked climb in an attempt to finish the season within the top 100, and thank you in advance. And if you tuned into my stream the night prior, you would have seen that the best performer we had was in fact the Solgaleo Shiinotic deck that you see right here, as we managed to go 7-2 for a 77% win rate. But before I list the pros and cons, let's do a quick card by card. As you can see here, we're playing the Shiinotic engine, which is double Morlo, double Shiinotic, and then for the Solgaleo list, engine, we're playing double Cosmog, one Cosmoem, and double Solgaleo. Then obviously you follow that up with the 2 rare candies, 2 Pokeballs, 2 research, and then for the the toolbox of supporters that we're going with 1 red, 1 Sabrina, 1 Cyrus, 1 Mars, and 1 Lily. When it comes to creativity, the list doesn't leave much room for changes, as anything from that you take away from the skeleton is technically taken away from the heart of the deck, which is consistency. Everything in this list, rather than besides those bottom 5, are entirely set up to make this deck as consistent as possible. However, who am I to tell you how to build your deck, or anybody really? I'm just presenting you the list that worked best for me on stream, which in this case is the one that plays both Sabrina and Cyrus, instead of cutting one of the 2 for Guzma, which was the other popular list. The reasoning behind the decision to play those 2 rather than finding space for Guzma is because I truly believe that having either or, finding Sabrina or Cyrus, could make the difference does make the difference in the mirror match, and playing both gives us a better odds in finding either or to close out the game in that matchup specifically. However, on stream I wasn't able to put this to the test, as we did not face the mirror at all. As far as pros go, this deck is designed to farm Silvally Rampardos, so that early on in the format, both ranked and in tournaments, has been the most popular deck, as well as being favored against Buzzwole, at least statistically, right? In practice, it feels a lot more 50-50. However, if you look at the stats in limitless.com, this deck is crushing Buzzwole, at least in the majority. I think it's over 60% win rate. I don't know how, because again, in my personal experience, although I do have a positive win rate, it never felt like that, blown out, where I felt super comfortable with that we were gonna win every time. But that doesn't take away that you have either a favorable or very good matchup against not only the most popular deck, but the second most popular deck in the format. The combination of speed, power, and bulk that comes with playing Solgaleo, with the added consistency of the Shiinotic engine, really puts this deck over the top. However, it isn't without its flaws, and flaw number 1, and the most apparent issue that the deck has, is a small yellow bird called Oricorio. As long as your opponent plays it correctly, or is able to manipulate how it's played, or when they use it, or how much damage it takes throughout the game, this deck should not be able to take down the bird, much less 2. Although, as you'll see in the gameplay, it is not impossible to take advantage of the smallest misstep. Just if they use their heals on the wrong card, or if they add cape to the wrong card, the second that they kind of slip up with their Oricorio, you could take advantage, because Shiinotic does in fact hit the Oricorio and 2-shot it, so it's more of who gets initiative on that damage. But nonetheless, realistically, Oricorio does completely demolish this deck. Another really bad matchup that's kind of popular due to how good it is against Buzzwole is any form of Charizard, whether it's Turtonator, although it's not as popular, the Silvally version, which is seeing a lot of more play now, and of course the Incineroar version. Regardless, if there's Charizard on the other side, this deck tends to struggle. Since the second Solgaleo swings and goes down by the 10 HP, it's immediately in range for a Stoke Charizard attack. As for how to deal with these issues, there's no simple way to do it. As mentioned prior, anything that you're swapping out in and out of this deck is kind of affecting it at its core. But options for Oricorio could be just a single copy of Magearna, although it'll take away from the consistency of finding your Morlos and Cosmogs through the Shiinotic and through your Pokeballs and stuff. Being able to knock out Oricorio with 1 swing with just 2 energy is definitely a better situation to be in than anything the deck currently has for the bird. And as for the Charizard matchup, my best suggestion would be finding room for a Giant's Cape, as it allows Solgaleo to not only attack into the Charizard, but you survive one of their attacks, which could be the difference between winning and losing the game. Overall, this deck is currently in a position to continue to do well in this format. An increase in Oricorio could cause it to crash out or force it to adjust, but for the time being, it is definitely among the top decks in the format. Ultimately, best of luck if you decide to try this deck out for yourself. Enjoy the gameplay, and above all else, stay pro. Going first. We're going against Buzzwole. We need to draw like my opponent just did. Well, this higher chances of seeing Cosmog if we research first. Alright, so all we need to draw is like the rare candy, right? Let's put both down, I guess. You gotta attack one or the other, right? Also, shout out to my boys, Roxas and Blue, for giving me the 1-star Mortals. I didn't have any of those to start the day, but I knew I was streaming. I was like, I could try to trade for these. 2 Cosmog, 2 Morlo into double Shiinotic. Well, we got half of that. Well, no, we got 3/4 of that. All right. Let's illuminate here. I guess Cosmoem would be good too. Okay, let's. I guess we didn't draw like your opponent. Let's see here. 11 cards in deck. They did research, and we could technically Mars them now before they Mars us, type of thing. No, they didn't see Celesteela, so maybe this is a misplay, but. And let's fuel this Cosmog and pass turn. Okay, we got red carded into rare candy. Okay, so we need Shiinotic needs to grab us a Solgaleo ASAP, right? All right, Luwap, by the way, mid game I was checking out. That's why, sorry the lack of commentary. This Pokeball is dead now because we drew the Morlo, but okay. Again, it all comes down to if we find Solgaleo off of this Shiinotic, right? The event should drop today at 2 in the morning. Okay, we got the what we're looking for, right? And I guess we put, I feel like if we put down Morlo, we'll be susceptible to like more like Sabrina plays and stuff like that. I'm gonna keep the Morlo in hand. There's nothing to search if they knock out Cosmog anyways. Let's get our first knockout here. So in about an hour, yeah, just over an hour, you the Necrozma event should be out, which that's another so I know what my video for tomorrow is gonna be. Just gotta wake up early enough to work on that, I guess. The promos in that event are insane. The Dustmane Necrozma, the other one is the Moon. I don't know their name. The basically Solgaleo and Lunala as Necrozmas just look insane. Okay, they're gonna hit us for 120. So if they don't have Celesteela, we're kind of fine. Other than that, we're like not fine at all. Okay, so this is where I get punished for not never mind, never punished. I still think it's worth putting them on better half Celesteela, right? We still Lily here? Actually, no, because... Wait, if we swing, we go down to... No, yeah, we have to Lily here. Even if they find the Celesteela, then they find it, right? We just beat them with the other Solgaleo at that point. Yeah. This game is cursed. I play Solgaleo like 10 games, no Silvally Rampardos, switch to Coco, and the first game you already know. Bro, every time, bro. That's what, like, yesterday my 11-game win streak got knocked out by Oricorio Rampardos deck. It's like, who's playing? Like, I was playing Oricorio, granted. Like, you know, I'm being degenerate. I'm beating all these Solgaleos. I'm beating all these Dark Tina decks. And it's like they handpicked the one guy playing Riolu. And they're like, here. We did it. Oh, let me change the record, because this is our first game with Solgaleo. Whether it's Decidueye or... Okay, no. Okay, maybe this is the Silvally deck we were waiting for. We have quite the hand, again. Just, Alright, this is the matchup we want, right? And we're just I'm blanking out, right? A rare candy away from, like, really popping off. Honestly, I see Scoffball, and I get nervous. Okay, I guess okay, we got multiple ways of like doing this right now. That red is brutally unuseful. Although technically, we're just a rare candy away from popping off. That's if we don't get red carded, which is very likely. They're also at 5 cards in hand. There's the Mars. Maybe he'll get us to rare candy. Rare candy Shiinotic, rare candy. Rare candy is number 1. Okay, perfect. GG's. Well, I don't want to say GG because technically a follow-up Cranidos could be a problem. But we're definitely playing with house money from this point forward, right? This time around, we already have everything we want, so we definitely Pokeball first. Into research. Into another Pokeball. So the second we see Shiinotic, we just see the entire deck, right? And then just throw our entire hand on the table. And we tell them that they did this to themselves. They Marsed us, right? I can't wait for like 2 stars to be tradable and stuff. Which I honestly, when it will happen, I don't know. If it will happen, I also don't know. But there was talks about it happening. So speaking in a way of like where it would be happening or should be happening. Yeah, I can't wait to be able to trade for like higher end Solgaleos. I want a full art red. I want full art Iono. Those are cards that I missed out on. Hopefully it gets added. They did mention that they want to add. Okay, GG's. Okay, going second again. You gotta assume we're okay. Now we're farming. Let's go. I'm just gonna make a bunch of alts and try to get 2 stars to trade them to my main. Honestly, I respect the hustle. Let's go. Now we're farming, dudes. I played Solgaleo 10 games and didn't see a single one. Gave them all to you. I appreciate it. Your sacrifice will not go in vain. We'll definitely use research first, because if this Pokeball gives me more lol, I'll more cry. Tapu Koko, 2 games, 2 Silvallies. Close the app. Alright, there it is. And we have the rare candy already. I couldn't get better than this. It could get worse. Like if they hit us with a red card and we draw to absolutely nothing, that would be rather unfortunate, but we do have everything that we want. And we get to even evolve the other Cosmog into Cosmo. We get to put our hand on the board once again if we don't get red. Too soon, but we can still draw into it, right? Lily, no. Red, horrendous. Rare candy. Okay, so a top deck of Shiinotic could do it. Top decking Solgaleo could do it. Come on. That's not one of them. We throw away red. I low-key want to protect this this Morlo if possible. Granted, if he evolves into Silvally or whatever, we cry. Anyways. Now let's just set up the win condition is gonna be the Solgaleos anyways. We are a Solgaleo away from just like taking it, so We'll throw all the mortals in the way if we need to. Come on. We still have a research in the deck. There's definitely multiple ways of getting there. Solgaleo. Okay, research. 2 cards off the top. Rare candy. Okay, we got there. For a second, I almost cried. I saw the rare candy. I was like, I can't do nothing with these rare candies. Are we out of it yet? Nope, because the Rampardos is still possibly lingering in the background. And they already have a point. So them knocking out Solgaleo costs... actually, technically, we could get lucky, right? Where they only hit us for 130. We could like force the tie, almost, basically, technically. That research was clutch. That's deja vu or what? Our opponent is confident in battle, but we are going second. Against Oricorio. Alright. If you thought there was little we could do against Charizard, wait till you see how little we could do against this deck. Alright. We did draw Cosmog though. This is another case where we could get rid of the red. They only play Oricorio and Silvally. At most, there will be a Shaman as well. We need top deck Solgaleo or Shiinotic, and then Shiinotic needs to grab us the Solgaleo for us to like be in this game. Granted, the second they drop the Oricorio, big fan of them wasting these early. Okay, so they're not attacking this turn, or at least have no interest in doing so, which is okay with me. Giant's Cape does buy them a turn, technically. Alright. Solgaleo, Shiinotic, none of the above. Huh. You know what? Let's do this. We could technically stall if we Sabrina. But we could also put the Silvally in range if we poke it for 10 damage. The stalling might be worth more. Because if we see Shiinotic and all that, yeah, let's stall a little bit. Because if we stall and then don't draw the Solgaleo, we do absolutely nothing. We'll still tag here the null for 10. 13 cards in deck. We've yet to research. So that's 2 researchers in deck. Both Solgaleos. Both Shiinotics. Those are all cards that could get us there. A little under half. There's the Oricorio probably. Yeah. Now the importance of more low is like through the roof. Like we need Shiinotic to like kind of deal with that. And now the Shaman completely gets rid of the 10 damage we did. So good thing we decided to stall rather than attack. Alright, low end on that damage is also good. And... okay, research, because we're still in it somehow. Although I definitely didn't want to evolve on top of Cosmo. Never mind, we're not in it at all. What is this? There's the Cosmog. I think we'll retreat here. In the long run we need Cosmoem to beat to kind of wall off Oricorio. But we need to get rid of these guys first, the nulls. Sabrina. Whatever we give him is gonna get bodied. Can't wait to draw Shiinotic on the next hand. Top deck Shiinotic. Ay, Dios mío. Okay. And we still have to deal with the cape on this guy. We're not playing Guzma. I guess technically this survives the turn no matter what happens. Alright, technically we're still... That's better than the Shiinotic top deck, that's for sure. Let's go here. Energy here. If for some reason they don't have a supporter, we do wall everything on their board for a little bit anyways. Alright. We're buying time. There's the Shiinotic we've been waiting for. Okay, I was like, I don't want y'all to do the math on the percentage of how low it was to like miss there. Let's go rare candy. We gotta get rid of these while we can. Once we get rid of those, they don't have a way to out the Cosmoem, is at least the idea. And I'd rather a draw than lose my points, if that makes any sense. Maybe it's not worth the time it's gonna take, but learning experience for some of y'all. Like what to do if you have Solgaleo and don't want to give your opponent points. Granted, I could still lose. By all means, this is still like a losing position, given like whatever happens. Alright, they decided to do that, which is okay by... The biggest issue is this Silvally having the cape, and we're not really playing away without it. Wonder picked my second Shiinotic, time to play Solgaleo. Alright, best of luck. Hopefully y'all dodge... We're definitely going to use Lily here. Hopefully you dodge this mess of Oricorio. Granted, I'm guilty of playing Oricorio as well, right? Let's retreat into this. We'll build up Shiinotic after the fact. Alright, they're down to 2 cards. 6 cards total in their deck. I wonder what... If it's my list exactly, they'll have Cyrus for sure. They'll have Cyrus, PCL. Have they used Geo yet? Geo's in there. Mars is also a card. Although with Shiinotic, I don't really care what we draw. Alright, now this is a big issue. Of course we draw the Pokemon so we don't see the rest of our deck. Which means we no longer wall them. The issue with if I don't evolve this is that they could just Cyrus it out and get the damage in anyways. So we're gonna have to evolve it. Alright, I don't know if we could win this one. Honestly, it was never meant for us to win. Okay, we don't care for that. Clearly they're doing that just to swing for more damage. Which means they didn't use Cyrus, right? So we'll take that. Funny enough, the Shaman kind of matters there, but not really. Alright. They already used their PCL. I think we actually could get this. I actually think we could win this. Funny enough. We just need to buy a little bit more time. Marsing them down to 2 could help. I guess there's no reason not to. I think we win. I think we win. Actually, I haven't looked at the turn counter either, so if it's a draw, my bad, guys. 9. Okay, no, we're good in time. This is not coming to a draw. I think we win. They shouldn't be playing more heals than what they have. Okay, this is a never give up, alright? GG's, GG's. Now I don't feel bad for dragging this out for I don't know how long it was. That was probably the most boring, exciting win I've ever had in my life. But we'll take it.